This podcast is supported by Music Theater of Wenatchee, celebrating 64 years of bringing stories to life. From show-stopping musicals to powerful plays, the Music Theater of Wenatchee stage is where stories come alive. Now they are writing the next chapter, and you can help make it happen. To support the next act of community theater in Wenatchee, visit annex.mtow.org and donate today.
Opening night club.
We're not opening a nightclub.
It's the opening night club. We can't wait to watch an opening night show, because on opening night we always go with our opening night club. Opening night club.
Welcome to the Opening Nightclub Podcast. This is the podcast where we get together every week to discuss and celebrate all of the opening night theater in North Central Washington. I'm your host, Kevin McKee, and with me today is actor, playwright, and auteur, Skyler Cuthill. How's your day, Skyler?
Kevin, I am doing great. Excited to be back on the show. I had a long absence, right? Not my fault. We just didn't have plays to talk about.
We didn't.
Yes.
We had a few good interviews with people. If you want, go back and listen to those. We talked to Jamie and Brian and Pete about how they got into theater here in the Valley.
They were excellent interviews. I listened to all of them.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I thought they were very helpful. I'm always interested in we have our local gang, but then a lot of these people, like Jamie, he was from Iowa, or he was from Indiana. So what was the path that led you here?
Yeah.
Right. I'm always interested in that kind of thing.
The whole point of doing this, if you haven't caught on by now, is there are people that are not self-promoters that are doing a lot of things to keep theater alive and build the community. I want to highlight those people and make sure that if you're involved in theater, you know who they are, so that when Mike Locke shows up and says, yeah, you should probably add some light over there, you know you should add some light over there.
The Mike Locke promotional podcast.
That's right.
Sponsored by MTW and the Mike Locke Foundation.
That's right. No, you should follow that one. We do have an opening night coming up this next week, so we will be talking about that, but you and I are both in rehearsals.
Yes, a lot has happened in this past month.
Yes.
There's a lot of news to talk about.
Yeah. So we're going to be going over that, and then we'll also be able to go through the calendar and talk about all of the stuff that will be happening in January and then moving into February. We've had a lot of shows announced.
Yeah. So kind of to start things off, I got cast in a show.
You did?
I did it. So the last time I was on your show here, I talked about, how I gave audition advice for auditioning for Jamie despite never having been cast by Jamie.
Yes.
So I'm now here to say I have done it. I have been cast in the Follies. I have made it through the process, which literally casts everybody who auditions for it. I made it in. I'm a hero.
Well, you did more than make it in. You are one of the featured performers.
Yes, that's true. I just wanted to get that self-deprecating jab in because I thought it was funny. But yeah, I actually am a soloist for this coming performance, but I am in the Follies Madhouse. And we had talked about it, then you and Jamie talked about it, and I talked to some other people in private about it, and it being described, I've never done Follies before, and it being described as a madhouse, I understood that in my head, but not in my heart. And now that I'm actually in there, I'm like, oh my God, this is a madhouse. There is somewhere between 150 and 200 people in this program.
Yes.
It is truly gonzo. And they started rehearsing the day after auditions. So it's just like, all right, we're doing it. And every number has a half an hour at auditions because there's so much to get at rehearsals, because there's so much to get through. So it's just it's a really crazy pace. And Jamie Donegan is just like a machine, just like next, which is fun. I do well in self-directed study style situations, right? So I can't. I'll do that. I'll prepare all my stuff on my own. But it's a lot. It's very fast paced.
Well, this was his business for decade or so, where he would show up in town, they'd put on a show in 3 weeks, and then he'd be gone. And so he would move through the towns doing exactly the same thing.
No, he is. You can see it in the same way that I'm a property manager, so I have the spiel down for when I'm showing an apartment or whatever. I know exactly what I'm saying at every point, and he has exactly it down. He knows exactly what he's doing with every every number and whatnot, which it feels good. It feels like you're in good hands. Like this dude knows what's up versus like showing up and being like, so, I didn't do very good notes for what we're doing today, but I have some ideas. It's like, oh my God. No, Jamie is on it. Jamie has got it.
Jamie would go from town to town, and he would do sometime a similar show. Sometimes he'd add new numbers. He'd mix it up. But he's also got trunks and trunks of costumes and music, so he can mix and match. And so a lot of these he's done before. He can change it up and put something new together. But I asked him, I'm like, do you have costumes for 200 people? He's like, oh, yeah, no, I've got more than enough costumes for that.
He's got Connie in there as his costume lieutenant.
Okay.
So he has some really experienced hands with him.
Yeah.
But I do have a story about auditioning for it, if you'd like to hear it.
Sure.
I have an anecdote.
You bet.
All right, let's do it. So if you know me, which I assume most of you people listening do, I have very bad luck. I will always screw up something like the first 3 or 4 times I try it. I have to work really hard. I identify really strongly with like Frank Grimes in The Simpsons, if you remember that episode. But anyway, so there was orientation before the auditions. There was like an orientation on Saturday, and there were a ton of people there.
You call it orientation. They call it a party.
Yeah, but I thought of it as because they're explaining it.
And of course,
they
of course.
They literally have poster boards up. Right, like showing the show and the numbers and so on and so forth. And there was a ton of people there. There was like everybody there. So that was fun. And at the orientation, they had poster boards up with like all the numbers. And then they had a thing you could sign up to audition for each number.
Okay.
And, I was like, well, I'm not on fire like for a specific number. That's just not my personality or whatever. I just want to like be part of the gang and help or whatever. So I was like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll come to like the general solo audition at the end, and I'll have a dance component in my audition.
Okay.
So you can see I can dance.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Instead of like auditioning for a specific number, and I'll just be like, there it is.
Because
do what you will with it.
You've been taking adult dance lessons for years at this point.
Yeah. You wouldn't know it to look at me, but I have been doing ballet for 7 years now. And I do other stuff as well.
Yeah.
I've tapped and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, okay, so I'll prepare, because Jamie does kind of the more general audition where you prepare a cut of a song of your choice just to show off your range or whatever. I was like, I'm going to do a dance number, right? And I will dance and sing, and he will know where to put me from there.
You did an honest-to-God song and dance number.
I did. And so I got there. So they had dance auditions during the day on Sunday, and then they had like the solo audition at the end at 6 or 6:30. So I showed up at like 5:30, and everybody was in the pack. Everybody was hanging around, and I saw a gang of people I knew, and I went over and talked to them, and they were all talking about the numbers that they had been assigned to. And I was like, this seems odd because it's the day of auditions. How do you know what you're in already? And they said, oh, you are immediately placed to know what number you're doing after the audition. Each audition is like half an hour for each dance, and then they immediately go, you, not you. Because it's such a madhouse. You have to do it. You have to go, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. You can't spend 3 weeks thinking about it or whatever, right? Like, done, you, done, you, done, you. So it's like, oh, so I missed my opportunity to be in a dance, but I had already prepared my dance number for auditions. And then also, funnily enough, the last time I was on here, we were talking about how much more I prefer doing social auditions versus private auditions.
Yes.
And it's like, oh my God, there's like 80 people in here. They're all going to see my dumb little dance. So
what was your song?
Well, everybody else got up and sang and stayed stock still on the stage, or at least they didn't dance very much, right? And then I got up there and I went, hello, my name is Skyler Cuthill. I'm going to be auditioning with A Little Sidestep from Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, and I clearly did not understand the assignment. And then I did my little dance. By God, but I had prepared it. I was going to do it, There's no world where I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody saw me. At this point, I feel like I'm a known quantity in the Valley.
Yeah.
This is not like anybody was out there like, oh my God, Skyler, I didn't know that you make a fool of yourself on stage. They weren't surprised by this. But yeah, I did it. But I did something right. I got in.
Of course you did. No, I've talked to Jamie about it multiple times, and I don't think he calls them ringers. So it's not like I'm demeaning anybody else in the show if they're not a ringer, but he kind of enjoys working with Wenatchee, working with Music Theater of Wenatchee, because he can pull the ringers out. So there's a lot of people, and I think if you look at people like the Atwoods, well, he knows that he can get Paul and Kelly, Maddie now to show up and sing a number. He knows what they can do. So probably weeks before even orientation, he had them penciled in for these are the numbers they're going to do. If they didn't show or if they said they couldn't do it, he'd find somebody else to do those numbers.
I can't imagine a world where a director like pitches a show and like puts all their thought and energy into a show and then goes, and I have no idea who will show up.
That's right.
And I hope to God I get good people, but I have just no clue. Of course not. You're thinking about it. How could you not be thinking about it? And if you look at the cast list, we have a lot of friends on the cast list. I mean, it's a huge cast list, but Ernest Palmer's on there, Amy Edwards. I have it written down. A lot of our friends.
Doing it.
Rachel's in it, of course. Cody is in it. All the Atwoods are. Katie and Domingo. Alt Skyler, who we're going to talk about in a little bit for Legally Blonde. But yeah, a ton of our friends are in there. So so I got in with my little dance. Did you ever see Best Little Whorehouse in Texas?
I've never seen the show. No.
Oh, it's great.
Did you do the song Best Little Whorehouse?
No, it's there's like a evil governor. He's not evil, but like he's not good.
Okay.
And he sings a song about how much he loves fooling people.
Okay.
Because he's a politician.
Yeah.
And it's a really fun, infectious number, and it's a solo male number with dance.
Okay.
It's just the governor of Texas dancing around the stage going, ooh, I love to trick people. And it's a rambunctious little number, so I've always loved it.
I bet Jamie loved it.
You know...
He's tough to read during an audition, but I bet he loved it.
I gave it my all, but I did. But it was funny because everybody else understood what was up.
And after doing that number, what number are you doing in the show?
I am going to be singing Spinning Wheel by Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Yes, funk rock. I'm going to defy every fact of my biology and ethnicity, and I'm going to be very funky.
That's right.
I'm going to be funky as hell.
When people meet you, they say, boy, that guy is funky.
Man, he's got a lot of flavor.
He's got soul.
No, I'm going to do it. I am on top of that thing. It's all in my range.
Yeah.
So I just got to work the soul up. Technically speaking, I'm there. I just got to get some soul.
Okay. I think it'll be a fun number.
No, it's going to be great.
And are you doing it by yourself or you have other people behind you? Do you have dancers?
I do. I have backup dancers. There is a whole troop of women who are going to be dancing with hula hoops behind me.
Okay.
Not behind me, amongst me. I'm supposed to be like...
You're in the middle of them.
Yeah.
Do you get a hula hoop?
I do not get maybe I could take one from one of the girls.
Okay.
That might not be a bad bit.
You should learn how to hula hoop.
I'm writing that down.
You're going to have to learn. Talk to Jamie.
Once they integrate me into the dance number,
okay,
I'm gonna have like a set of like suggested moves or whatever. Take a hula hoop, do a spin or two. How hard could it be?
It can't be that hard.
I mean, all of our parents did it as children, right? It can't be too tough.
Yeah.
Follies is the first weekend of February, February 5 through 7 at the PAC, and it is going to be gonzo, right? A ton of people, huge numbers. All of our friends are in there. So yeah, so please consider it. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
And honestly, the tickets will sell out for this show. There's 200 people in the cast, and as a director, you know that you're going to get 5 to 10 tickets sold per person in the cast because everybody's got family family and friends that are going to want to buy tickets to see them. So when you have 200 people, that sells a lot of tickets.
Yeah. And there's not that many performances. We do have matinees, but it is just the one weekend.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot.
It'll be a lot, so go get your tickets to that. The other thing that we've been rehearsing is what I've been rehearsing, which is the Minutes at the Riverside Playhouse with Music Theater Wenatchee, and we're opening that up on the 22nd.
That is coming right up here.
It's this next week, or if you're listening to this on after Monday, which you will be, it is this week.
Yes.
You'll have to get tickets for opening night. We will have the opening night club attending, and we will hopefully have some way that we can identify everybody in the opening nightclub.
I will be there. I have a gang rounded up, and we are going to Atlas beforehand.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't been to Atlas in years. I'm excited.
Yeah. Boy, they make a good drink.
I'll get loaded before the Minutes.
And
before the city council meeting. I bet a lot of people have actually done that as like a survival strategy for city council meetings.
Very possible.
Yes.
Yeah. Or during the city council meeting. Yeah. If you go to Atlas, get the spiced fries, which I love.
Spiced fries.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll write that down.
That down. You can get it with like truffles and garlic, but honestly, the spice, because Top, he knows spice. So
okay, take a hula hoop and get spice fries.
Get spice fries at Atlas Fair. So the Minutes, we've done something kind of weird where we were ready a week early. We had
that never happens.
No, we had tech a week early, and we've been running dress rehearsals for a week. And we had audience for 3 days, and we are now dialed in.
That's crazy.
When you watch community theater, part of the reason we started opening nightclub is to encourage people to go to opening night. If you're supporting theater, they need to see it opening night. If you go to a lot of community theater and you'll see things multiple times, you will probably see that opening night, it's a little tentative, and then it gets just nailed down by closing.
Yeah.
We will not be tentative on opening night because we've had audiences for multiple nights. So I'm really kind of excited for this one, and it reminds me why shows have previews, because you do have the ability to nail it down, to work on the characters, work on the interactions so that they are smooth and it makes sense. So this last week we were able to try things out. I have a monologue, and I've tried it multiple different ways, dramatically different ways, and we were able to say, I think this one works better. And so I was able to say, okay, should I be conniving? Should I be dastardly? Should I be friendly? How should it work? And so we were able to dial it in.
That's what Marilyn Everhart always said. She always said, warm up first so that your first scene is not your warm up.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
for vocals. So that's a similar principle.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. No, we were stretching those acting muscles and we're getting it set. So I'm kind of excited about it. It's something we just don't normally do.
That's a nice luxury if you can get it. But a lot of the times on a show, you're still kind of working on blocking and things, up until the last minute.
Yes.
Right?
Well, and they do that for a certain reasons. And the biggest thing is financial. If you do have an audience, and I'm going to call it out, that if you have an audience of any kind, private, public, free, paying, fundraiser, whatever, you have to have a license. You've got to pay the royalties to the company that you've licensed the show to. So you could do it if you were doing Shakespeare or if you were doing Gilbert and Sullivan, because there is no licensing. Those are in the public domain. But if you have a licensing agency and you have any type of audience, you've got to pay. I know that there's organizations that will do friends and family, but technically that is against, they should be paying the license for that. So there is a cost to do it this way. And I'm hoping that if there's people out there, if you're interested, you can do it. Just make sure you pay the extra license.
I remember I was surprised when I first learned that the licensing is by performance. That you pay so much money based on your venue size or whatever that you pay per performance. Well, instead of just like $200 and you can do the sound music or whatever.
Well, the weird thing is, and I don't know that how many people know this, is that you can go, and actually you could go to Concord Theatricals, you could probably go to MTI and say, give me an estimate. Here's the show I want to do. We're going to do this many shows. They want to know what the minimum ticket price, what the maximum ticket price, how many you expect to sell, like how many seats, and then how many of those seats do you expect to sell, and then they'll give you a price. If you're doing what we'll call a straight play, which is a non-musical, it's going to be somewhere between $100 and $150 per performance is what you have to pay. And that will change a little bit if we have $20 tickets or if we've got $75 tickets. It'll go up if we say we're charging $75, but not by a lot. Musicals, they will look at how much you are charging, how many seats you're selling, and they're going to want a percentage of that, even if you don't sell it. So at the PAC, if we've got 600 seats and we're charging $10 a seat, so that's a possible $6,000. Well, they're probably going to want somewhere between 10 and 15% of that money for the licensing.
Because a guy wrote it 60 years ago, and not only is he dead, but his children are dead, but his grandchildren.
You're getting way into intellectual property rights.
Yeah,
now.
some dude in an office in New York, they have to,
Yeah. Well, and the weird thing is there are some shows every year that go into public domain. Boy, I'm going into a weird place, but I'm kind of excited about it.
We were talking about this not that long ago because the Student Prince went into public domain very recently.
Yes. And last year, Showboat went into public domain. So if you do an original version of Showboat, which for God's sake, please do not, it's racist as hell.
The instant you said it, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to make a race joke. And then you cut me off at the pass.
I'm sorry.
I was like, oh, we're going to do Showboat with like black people in it. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so funny. Oh my gosh. What
went into public domain this year is Girl Crazy.
Oh, really?
Yes. So Girl Crazy was a musical that came out in 1930, which means it's now going into the public domain, written by George and Ira Gershwin.
Hey.
So this is a show that I don't think very many people have seen, but you know the songs from this show. Mm-hmm. And so the songs that came out of here, Biding My Time, which I think got used in another show, right? Embraceable You was in there. I Got Rhythm was in that show, but not for me. I don't know what these other ones, but these are songs that are in the standard songbook. These are songs that we all know, and they've been repurposed and used in other shows. But Skyler Cuthill, if you wanted to write a musical and use these songs in the musical, you could write a musical.
All right. Like a director cobbling a film together strictly out of stock footage.
Yes.
I will cobble a musical together strictly out of public domain songs.
But we were just mentioning, if you looked at something like Crazy for You, which is a modern show or a more modern show using George and Ira Gershwin songs, you could do something like that.
Okay.
I mean, it wouldn't be crazy, and it would be something that we could do. You could put your name on it, and all of a sudden it is your adaptation, and people would have to pay you to do your adaptation.
All right. I'm writing this down. So I'm going to take a hula hoop from a woman. I'm going to get the spiced fries, and I'm going to write a musical using Ira Gershwin music.
But how fun would that be? I'm sure we could come up with some way to take those songs and use them in a unique way.
Well, I think we should do the show.
Oh, we could
because it'll be free. Love that. Big on that.
And then we could do all of the preview performances and not have to worry about paying anybody.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
We could do that.
Let's wrap this up.
Yeah. No, so we're in rehearsals for the minutes. Boy, we've been having a good time. We've got really good people in the show, and we talk a lot about building community. And Lane Heichel is in this show, and she's done some theater. She's been doing stand-up around, but it turns out she's also the project manager at the PUD that remodeled the end of the building so they could put Electric Avenue in before they sold the annex to us.
Oh, wow.
She built that wall and the sidewalk. That was her project.
Wow.
Yeah. And so now she's in the show, and she works out at a gym. I'm going to mangle this, and I hope Dave doesn't kill me, but it's Osborne Performance.
Okay.
And he trains power lifters. Lane goes to his gym. And so he's a professional power lifter and also like a doctor in exercise, and he's got lots and lots of degrees, but just the biggest muscly guy, and he tried out for the show. So he is in the show as well. So Dave Osborne is just a fantastic add to the theater, and I'm so thankful that our community keeps expanding like that somebody tells somebody and then they show up and they try out for Follies, and then maybe they'll try out for the next show. So that's kind of how it expands.
I'm also writing down, recruit this Dave guy for Little Abner.
I've already talked to him about Little Abner. Yeah.
Okay.
No, what I said was, Dave, I need 4 or 5 bodybuilders, and that all they do is they come out in that one number, and then they're going to come out later and get changed back into hillbillies. And he's like, oh yeah, no, I know those guys. And he's like, do they have to know lines? And I was like, no, they don't have to do anything outside of pose.
Flex, yeah.
And I said, all they're supposed to do is pretend they're not interested in the women. He's like, so they're interested in guys? No, they're interested in themselves. And he's like, oh yeah, they know how to do that.
Many such cases. All right, we have a really full docket then.
Okay.
So we have to do the humans again. Humans, a brief primer, and then we have to do the Countess of Pocatello, the show the show which will shake the foundations of the world. And then we have to do...
Have we mentioned the Countess of Pocatello on this show before?
I forget.
I don't think we have.
Okay.
And this is a script that you are working on.
Yes.
And I've read it, and I really like it. I read the second version, and I think you're working on a third and maybe a fourth at this point.
I shot out of my bed at 4 a.m. last night because I realized I had a new piece of dialogue for the Countess of Pocatello. So, yes, the dreamscape is working effectively upon me.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, good.
So the Countess of Pocatello is the next show after that, and then Girl Crazy, and then Little Abner.
Yes.
We already have the next MTW season. Tell the programming committee. We're done.
I'm going to submit it. I'm going to submit Little Abner to the programming committee. I don't think they're going to. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know if it will sell, but Lord, I think it's a fun show.
If you're directing it, you can't be marrying Sam.
No. Although I don't know. I don't think he'll be upset. But he said I talked to Matthew Pippin, and he's like, I want to do Marrying Sam. Oh my gosh. I want to do Jubilation Tea Corn Pone.
You have so many people already lined up. You have the bodybuilders, you have Mary and Sam. Now you just need Little Abner. You need a bodybuilder who can sing. We just talked about the bodybuilders not needing to give lines.
I need a really big guy to play Little Abner.
And he's the guy that kicks off the whole plot about being big, so he has to be big.
He's got to be big. I'm hoping we can find that guy.
Well, we're going to talk about Legally Blonde in a minute here.
Yeah.
Right, but there's like 3 really buff performers, and one of them is in Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
Right, Kyle Cooper. Allison's husband.
Oh.
He's the sexy UPS guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, it's going to be either him or Domingo Gonzalez. Right.
Oh.
And I don't think Domingo went out for the show. So Kyle.
Yeah. Well, Domingo, I think, is running the orchestra.
Oh, well, of course. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. So let's go ahead and move on to Legally Blonde. We just got the cast list. So we talked before about auditions, I think the last time you and I were together, Skyler.
Yeah.
And we've got the cast list for Legally Blonde, and it's huge.
Yes.
And boy, I love the people in the cast.
I counted. There are 44 people in the cast.
Wow.
It is the big show. And then once you include the backstage personnel and everybody helping out, this is going to be like a 60, 70, 80 person project. This is huge.
It's a big project. Mm-hmm. If you are interested in helping out, they could still use help. I think if you are interested, go ahead and drop us a line here. We'll get you in touch with the producers. I'm sure they could use backstage help. They might need dressers. I know that Elle's got some quick changes that she'll probably need some people to help with.
There are more people in this cast than there are in the Danish military. Some topical humor for you. Getting everybody warmed up for it.
Maybe Legally Blonde can save Greenland. Maybe that's what we'll have to do.
But yeah, it's a great cast list. I think the headline to talk about would be that Stephanie Etherington is back.
I love that. Stephanie she's been doing a lot of theater here, and she was Maria for me up at Leavenworth Summer Theater, and she's just a fantastic performer. I know that she's been having children, and that's kind of taken her out as she's been a fantastic mom, but it's good to have her back as her kids have gotten a little bit older.
Yeah, she was the Maria in the season that I started at Leavenworth in 2019.
Awesome.
And then she was in the original cast of Mamma Mia in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we were almost on stage together.
Okay.
And then she dropped out to have children.
Okay.
Because it got delayed by a year and a half. There was a lot going on. You remember 2020, 2021.
I do remember. Well, and she graduated from Wenatchee High School, and I remember her when she was doing the high school show. She was fantastic in Pirates of Penzance. And she's done a lot of theater.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I'm friends with Alt Skyler. And I was talking to her the other day about it. I said, "Do you know Stephanie?" And she's like, "I went to school with her. Who do you think you're talking to?" I was like, "Ah."
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Skyler is playing Paulette.
Yes. Paulette Buonafonte.
Which is the hairdresser.
Yes. Our girl has been on a nice little arc here because she was ensemble in A Little Night Music with us in 2024. And then she was in Marvelous Wonder Brett's. And now she is a primary in The Big Show. She's got a song.
Bend
and Snap.
And Skyler is so funny. She's got chops as a comedian.
And she's amped to do it. She's like excited.
Yes.
Yeah,
no, and for those of you who are out there thinking, oh, everybody's funny, that's easy to be funny. It's not. As a director, you can't teach people usually how to be funny. You can give them a little bit, but boy, there's a component that you've kind of got to have it.
But no, it's extremely exciting for our girl. And then we also have some other, not new faces, but newish faces, right? So we have Kyle Ebert as Warner, and we have TJ as Emmett. So Warner is the bad boyfriend, and Emmett is the good boyfriend.
Yeah, well, it's hard to call TJ new because he had the lead last year in Catch Me If You Can.
But we were just talking about, like, people we went to school with. Right. People we've been performing with for like 20 years.
Yeah.
He is. I'm not sure when he moved to the Valley, but yeah, he was the lead in Catch Me If You Can last year, and then he was in Holiday Spice with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no.
he was also in Last 5 Years.
That's true. He's been
Yeah.
doing a lot.
Actually, yeah, Last 5 Years was 23.
Well, and I think he did All Is Calm.
You're right.
So he's done a ton.
You're right,
And
you got
just
me.
a fantastic voice.
Natural tenor. He's
Yeah.
got it. And Emmett
Yeah.
is high because he's the good boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
So and I love you. So TJ's got it. TJ's there.
Maybe
you know?
we have to edit that out. There's some intellectual. They're gonna cut the podcast because that's copyrighted music.
That
right
was the
there.
actual song
That
from
was the actual
Legally
song.
Blonde.
Yeah.
Hell, I love you.
No.
Should have put me in. I should have auditioned. I got it.
Some of the other people, Vivian is being played by Sarah Melissa Daniels,
Yes.
who we saw in Hot August Nights and Last 5 Years as well.
Yeah. There's quite a few Hot August Nights people in there because Kyle Eberth was in
Yeah.
Hot August Nights as well and Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. And Josh Brack is back, who was also in Hot August Nights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
no, he's
Tim,
been doing a lot.
Who is in Hot August Nights, and Haley.
Yes.
So a lot of those guys, which is nice. I mean, they had a good time.
Yeah.
Right, doing Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. They're like, let's do it again. Let's do another show.
Zach Savage is back. We haven't seen Zach on stage in a while, and he's playing Nikos.
Zach moved away for a long time.
Yes.
He moved back not that long ago, and he was in Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's good to see him back. So he's playing Nikos, who is either gay or European.
They figure it out across the duration of a song.
We can't figure that one out.
It's a spoiler for this 20-year-old film.
On the auditions, we were talking about the Brooke Wyndham character who has to be an aerobics instructor who has to be able to jump rope while singing. And Haley Scheffler is playing Brooke Wyndham.
So often, like, the character roles are like male roles, like a funny man who can't really sing or whatnot. Brooke is like that, but she not only sings, but like sings athletically. But yeah, it's my kind of role. If I was a woman, I would have gone out for Brooke. Haley is gonna kill it. It's a great role. It's a great role for her specifically. And she's not a primary, but I wanted to call out my friend Rebecca Hargrove is also in the cast. She was in 12th Night with us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I think as far as the leads go, the last lead would be Dave Williams
Yes.
playing Professor Callahan.
Yes.
There's a certain level of guys that we are at a certain age, and we're all friends, and we will discuss this. So we're going to try out for that, and we will make sure that one of us will try out for it. And so I had talked to Dave, and he's like, so if you're trying out for Callahan, yeah, I just won't try out. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. He's like, okay, I'll have to try out.
Well, I remember last year talking to John Merritt about it.
Well, and yes, and John said, I don't know if John tried out. So
I was told
maybe-
he didn't.
So I think, yeah, for music theater, that's kind of been the triumvirate of men of a certain age where we will discuss who's trying out for that. We're all baritones, but I know that Dave and John can go higher than I can. I'm
Okay.
a bass, maybe even a double bass, so I can't sing most of those. So I looked at Callahan on the range, and I was like, no, that's not my sweet spot there. Other people that are in the show that I do want to call out, Maddie Atwood, Mark Belton is in the show, and I don't know when or if he's been on stage before.
He's always helping.
He's
Right.
produced
He is
many shows.
all over the place. But
Yeah.
yeah, kind of like I remember when Josie Meets was in Greece. Right. I was like, you're always around, but I don't know if I've seen you on stage before.
Well, Mark Belton is president of Music Theater now. I am
the
no
incoming.
Yes, we're swapping over at the end of February at the general membership meeting, but he was president-elect, and so in our new bylaws, he just becomes president at the beginning of the year.
Oh.
And so he's been running it. Technically, they've got to, I still am finishing until we have the general membership meeting, and then we'll change over into the new board members.
Okay.
So, yeah, Mark is it, and he's in a show. He's in the musical. Of course, Allison Cooper, and I think she's probably going to be choreographer.
Yeah, Allison's in it. Eloise Sheets is in it. Laura Brown and the Shonings.
Yes. Lane, I mentioned Lane Heichel before. She is also in it. And Colleen Bowen is in it. I haven't seen Colleen in quite a while on stage. Colleen and I went to high school. We've acted together a lot. And I think Colleen and her mother, Carol, they were it in music theater through the 80s and 90s. They were producing a ton of shows. And I was in Gypsy with Colleen. I played Herbie, and she was Mama Rose.
Oh, really?
She was fan.
The role.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, she was fantastic. She was fantastic.
Everything's turning up roses. Da-da,
Man.
da-da, da-da.
Okay, you understand that song is brutal when it's done correctly.
Well, it's so big.
Well,
It takes all your soul.
It's so big, but it's sung at a point where everything is falling apart. You know it is not coming up roses, and you're trying to pick yourself up and sing it.
No, it's a defiant song.
It's a defiance,
Right, because
yes.
at that point in the show, I think the quote good daughter unquote has left with her boyfriend.
Baby June
right.
left.
Yeah, and she's got like the quote bad daughter, and she's like, "No, I'll succeed anyway."
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so people will hear that song, and it feels very sunny and upbeat, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not run that way.
Yeah, it's her defeating reality with her words.
Those are my favorite songs, where people are singing these hopeful sounding songs, and we know it's not going to work out for them. I think maybe sung by Annie at the beginning of Annie, where she's singing about her parents. Maybe they're coming for me.
Yeah.
My dad's wearing his tie, and she's playing piano.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, they're dead.
Yeah, maybe she sews. That
Yes,
song. Yeah.
that song. And it's very upbeat. She's singing out to the sky and very hopeful, and it's just dashed. Not Ellen, but in Little Shop of Horrors, the Somewhere That's Green. It's another one. It just breaks my heart. Anyhow. Okay. So that's what we've got for Legally Blonde. If you want to be in the show, you can't be in the cast because it's been cast, but you can probably be involved, and you can definitely buy tickets.
Yeah, and the Apple Blossom Musical is always the first 2 weekends of May.
Yes.
Right, so you've got a while to get tickets, but often, if it doesn't sell out, it sells really well. So if you want to get good tickets, you should buy earlier than later.
We do have... we did not get the cast list for Wenatchee High School's...
Importance of Being Earnest.
We did not get the cast list for Wenatchee High School's The Importance of Being Earnest, but I think it's been cast and it should be coming out any day. We will try to link it to the Facebook page or something like that. We'll put it in the show notes. I don't know how to put things in a show notes.
Paul Atwood has a lot going on right now.
He's got a lot going on. He's in Follies. He just
Yeah.
started Legally Blonde. They just had their first read-through. Yeah. Okay, here's a funny thing. So after our first, we're going to call it opening night, but it was really our first preview, our cast went down to Epoch, which is one of the few places that's open in the middle of the week late that we could get food. And so we took over one of the couches there at Epoch, and right next to us was 12 people from Legally Blonde who were there as a group after doing their read-through.
Oh.
And while we were there, Jamie comes in, and all the Follies people took up all of the tables along the other side.
I wasn't invited.
It was a full-on theater party there at Epoch, and we all knew each other, and that felt like community at that point. It was a lot of fun.
And I was at home watching Stargate, probably.
Oh, okay. Well, that could also be fun.
I do like Stargate.
Yeah. Well, and during the week, I think Epoch is the place that I will run into theater people at Epoch on a regular basis.
Yeah.
What, do you have a problem with Epoch?
The first time I went into Epoch, there was like a kid playing Super Smash Brothers on my left, and then further back there was a kid playing Roblox, and I was like, oh my God, this is like a nega bar. This is like an anti-bar. Right.
Oh, they were like kids.
Yeah, like actual children.
Well, yeah, they can be there till like, 9 or something?
Yeah, but that's a weird vibe for your bar, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a kid playing Roblox.
Yeah. They don't play much. Honestly, there was no one was playing video games that night. We were all socializing and drinking and eating tater tots. Yeah, no, it was good.
If you want to go out late in Wenatchee, your options are very limited. It's essentially either there or Applebee's. Mm-hmm. So
if you've got kids with you, then yeah, you'll go to Applebee's. If you don't have kids, you'll probably end up going to Epoch.
Yeah.
No, it was good. Okay, so you wanted to talk about the LST process.
Yes, we have so much to talk about. This is a really packed episode for not having an opening night to talk about. So we have our audition materials for Leavenworth Summer Theater. And Leavenworth Summer Theater is kind of an intense process. So I wanted to kind of like step it through step by step. And Adam Eagle, if you are listening, this is for you because you expressed interest in Leavenworth Summer Theater to me at a party the other day. Well, not at a party, at the orientation. Right. So if you want to audition for Leavenworth Summer Theater, you go to leavenworthsummertheater.org. And I mean, Christy has put the link everywhere, right? But you go to the website and then you put in your information, your name and your email. And then you get access to a shared Google Drive folder. And in this folder, there's about 100 documents, which is a testament to Leavenworth Summer Theater's organizational and administrative capacity. Great job, Christy, and great job, Susan Wagner. And it's a 4-day process to audition. It's February 12th through February 15th. And every day there are different things. So let's talk about them. On February 12 and February 13, it is private auditions. This is the first step. You come in there and you have a 5-minute slot. Sometimes it can go longer, but it's just you and the directors of the shows, then Christy and Susan Wagner, who will be your accompanist, and then sometimes somebody else who will like do the other side of the reading for you. And so in the shared Google Drive folder, you will find everything. There are no cold reads or anything. You will find all of the sides and all of the cuts. Unlike other theaters, you don't come in with 16 bars of your own music or whatever. You only sing the cuts and you only perform the sides. So you can study up to your little heart's content with this. You can be really polished, right?
And everyone has to do the private auditions. It's not like there's an option. You've got to do one of those.
Yeah. So you book your 5-minute slot, right? And then you show up and they'll get your forms in front of them and they'll say, oh, so you're auditioning for blankety, blankety, blank. And then you can often pick one song on one side you would like to perform, right? So have at least one like ready to go. And then they can say, would you like to sing, or could you please sing this other cut or perform this other side? And so it's actually not a bad idea to not only prepare what you want to do, but take a look at the other things that you might physically be appropriate for. Yeah. If you're a man of a certain age, take a look at all of that stuff, just so you have some kind of familiarity with it, so you're not having to read it for the first time there. Because you don't know what the director's looking for. Mm-hmm. You might think you're totally inappropriate for a role, but for the director, you're perfect.
Yeah.
Right? So she could be like, yeah, no, this is exactly what I want you for, and you would have no concept.
Being on the other side of the table, you will be in front of all 3 directors, even if you're only going for one show. Mm-hmm. They're going to ask you, what do you want to do? You get one song that you get to pick. Mm-hmm. And if they want to hear more, they will ask you for more. But really, you're only going to get one. And so don't try to force more songs unless they ask you.
Yeah.
So that would be it. If you go in and you say, okay, I'm gonna go for anything goes. If you are a man of a certain age and you go in and say, I'm doing anything goes and that's it, they're going to say, would you possibly read for the captain? Mm-hmm. They're going to have you, if they're having problems filling roles, they will ask you to read for other roles.
Yeah.
There will generally be somebody there and their only role is to get on stage and read against you.
Yeah.
And so if you're reading for captain, she will read the Maria lines, and the reader is not emoting a lot. They're really waiting for you to bring it.
Back in the day, it was always, rest in peace, it was Carolyn Wilson.
Yes.
And nowadays it's different people.
Well, and Carolyn and Nancy Chapman read for me. She was my assistant director for years and years. So, it would be Carolyn and Nancy would be the 2 readers.
Yeah, so you have one guaranteed song. And then maybe they'll ask you to sing more. And you have one guaranteed side, and maybe they'll ask you to read more. So it's really a good idea to at least glance at the other material for stuff that you might be appropriate for, even if that's not exactly what you're gunning for.
If you really want to sing a couple songs, make sure on your sheet you say, these are the things I'm trying out for. I am trying out for Billy in Anything Goes. I'm trying out for
Evil in Oakley, Moonface Martin.
Well, yes. And so if you put specific names, 2 or 3, they might say, did you prepare Billy's song?
Yeah.
So that's a good way to get in extra stuff if you think you want to sing it.
And then, so that's February 12 and 13, right? So that's a Thursday, Friday. And then Saturday is dance call. Dance call is at 1 o'clock at ERMS, Icicle River Middle School. And I believe the dance call is going to be led by Katie Newberry, who is directing Sound of Music. And so they have 2 dance calls. They have a general dance call for everybody. If you want to be in the season, you have to come to the general. And then after that, they have an advanced dance call. Back in the day, they had more levels, and it was kind of indulgent. You can almost just by like looking at how people are dressed and how they're warming up, you can tell who's the good dancer, who's the bad dancer, who showed up in jeans, and who has like $300 worth of warm-up clothes on, right? And go, ooh. I was the guy in jeans for like the first 5 years I was performing, so I'm very sensitive about it. But anyway.
but you were male, so you got cast anyway.
Yeah, but not dancing roles.
No.
You know me, I'm a dancing fool. But anyway, it starts at 1, right? So you get there earlier than that. And then Katie Newberry will teach it to you, right? And then eventually you bust into groups and, everybody pulls back and then the group comes forward, dances a combination. And generally the first dance call is not going to be too hard. It's going to be more movement. So really anybody should be able to do it if you're warmed up and if you spend some time, Then the advance is often going to be actually advanced. And they said that this time there's going to be tap. Because it's anything goes, so it's a tap show. So bring your taps if you are a tapper, right? And just as some advice, you'll find in the shared Google Drive that they do video audition, right? So they have Katie Newberry has already put together a combination to teach
a tap combination.
Yeah, well, I haven't actually watched the combination. Okay. I don't think it's tap because it's a song from Hairspray.
Okay,
I didn't recognize it from Hairspray itself, but I recognized Harvey Fierstein.
Okay.
Because he has a very distinct voice. And I went, wait a second. Oh, it's Hairspray. But yeah, so she has prepared a combination on there. And that's not necessarily the combination she will teach you, but it will get you in the right physical space for it.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be something in that neighborhood. So if you want to, like you are studying your songs and studying your sides, if you want to study the dance, that's a darn good place to start. So that's my strong recommendation. So especially if you are not as confident a dancer and I go to ballet and sometimes the instructor will just, say 18 French words and then the girls just take off. They can just do it by being told words. If you're not like that, if you need to see it, then that's a good resource potentially.
And just kind of to let people know how it's going to work, the advanced dance is really to see how well people can dance with the idea that no one will be able to finish it perfectly. That only the people that have a lot of dance in them will be able to do it competently.
Yeah.
And that's really what they're looking to see. They're looking for, if they're dancing this year, they're looking for Rolfs and Liesels and people that have to do dance solos out there. On the tap, if you are interested in being in Anything Goes, especially if you think, I really like ensemble, I want to be one of the angels, I want to be one of the minor characters in Anything Goes, or if I'm going to be Reno, I need to know how to tap. And so get yourself some tap shoes, learn some rudimentary tap dancing. You don't have to be great. You just have to have a little bit. We've had auditions where they would have the dance and they're like, okay, now we're going to do the tap auditions. Everybody get your shoes. And it was Mason Atwood.
Yeah.
There's just no one, there was no other guys that even tried.
Oh, that was 23.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was The Drowsy Chaperone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was kind of embarrassing because they really needed people who could tap and they just didn't show. So if you could tap a little bit and you bring your tap shoes, especially if you're a guy,
yes,
it can really go a long ways.
Well, I imagine it will. You already mentioned it, but I think Rena will probably be a very competitive role, right? Because she sings the songs, right? So tapping will be very relevant for her.
Yeah.
No, I remember I wasn't in the season last year, but I auditioned, and I remember at the 2025 dance call that one of the girls, like you could already tell just like by her vibe that she was the dancer. Yeah. And she had it perfectly. The whole advanced combination, which was very difficult. She had it just aces. And I was like, it was one of those things where like, if they're a little bit better than you, then you're like, I could do that. If I work harder, I can get there. But when they're a ton better than you, and you're like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Why am I wasting everybody's time? And that's how I felt watching her. And then she got the dance solo in Carousel. She was dynamite. She was a great dancer.
Yeah. If you get a chance, watch Sutton Foster at the Tonys doing Anything Goes.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most impressive tap numbers I think I've seen at the Tonys. So go look that up on YouTube. It's good.
And it's just so easy. It just happens. That's the magic of theater, or that's the magic of mastery anyway.
Yeah. No, she makes it look easy, and it's not. That was the most sophisticated tap, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
So that is the 14th.
The 14th.
Valentine's Day, very funnily.
Okay.
I've often found that on days like that, it's best to be active and not wallow in it or whatever. So I'm actually volunteering at a winery event that night.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very funny because I know the guy who's organizing it, and he asked me if I would work it, and he said, and I'll give you 2 tickets. And I said, I'll only need 1. But it's good to be active because that night you get the emails for callbacks.
Yes.
So it's good. I'll be like doing something. I won't just be like refreshing my phone 500 times waiting for the email. I'll have something to do. And you get the email that evening, ideally, with callbacks. And then callbacks are a crazy marathon. It starts at like 9 o'clock on Sunday, and then it goes until like 8 p.m. at night. It's totally bonkers. And generally they do it in like show order. Often, I can't speak to this year, but often it's Sound of Music first. And they start right away. So you can get your callback notice at like 7 p.m. and then have to be there, in essentially 12, 13 hours. So it's, again, also look at the callback material. In the shared Google Drive, you'll see the callback material. So at least take a look at it. You want to spend most of your effort on like the first part because that's how you get to the second part. But at least look at it so you're not like learning something new, at 10 that night or whatever.
Because most of the time the callback material is completely different.
Yeah.
I have had people read the callback material even in their first audition.
Oh.
Just because it's like, okay, well, I need you to read something more as Moonface. And so, I've got this. Will you read it cold and see what you can do with it?
And so who knows what happens? Sometimes there's like a physical element. There's like a dance element, or for Carousel, there was like a acrobatic section.
Yeah.
It was mild. It was more like tumbling.
Yeah.
But still, it could be any gosh darn thing. So be ready. It's fun. It's a lot of work. But LST is very competitive. There are people from all over the country that apply. So it has to be more intense, than like when I cast a show and I'm just like, you're my friend, will you do it? Like it has to be, we have to scour your soul.
Yeah.
For LST. So, that's the process. If you have any questions, Christy's great. I know a lot about it. Well, Kevin, you know a lot about it. You have worked as a director for them multiple times.
Yeah.
So,
and as an actor.
Yeah. So, it's very exciting, and that is happening in less than a month now.
That's right. One thing I will point out, if you're have on your audition form, you have special talents and you put stuff on there, be prepared to actually show it. I've had, and I love the special talents, and I will tend to, as a director, if somebody says I can play violin, I'm going to work that in. If somebody says I can do a standing backflip, you're going to do it. And I'm probably going to ask you to do it at auditions. Do a standing backflip. You say you can yodel, go ahead and yodel. And so be prepared, know what's on your sheet, and be prepared to show how you can do that.
Yeah, I remember in 22, you had Grace Diedrich play accordion because you had put that down on her sheet.
That's right.
So, be prepared to back it up if you put it down.
Well, and Susan Heminger, she said she could play violin, and so she played violin in Sugar. She was the violin-playing gangster.
She plays the violin.
Yeah. She's very talented.
Susan Heminger as a gangster.
Yeah.
Incredible casting.
Yeah. Had 2 female gangsters. Phil Lacey was the lead gangster. He was the tap dancing gangster.
I mean, there are tough women in the world.
Susan
Heminger.
The gangsters in Sugar were a lot more like the Drowsy Chaperone gangsters, where they were old timey and they had patter and
fun wordplay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Leavenworth Summer Theater. We've got auditions coming up in the second week of February. Humans, a primer that's going to have its Wenatchee debut sometime in February.
Yeah, we're still working on the details. There's a lot involved, but God willing, it'll be the third week of February. February. But don't hold me to that.
Okay. So be prepared for that. We've got lots of other stuff coming up. We wanted to go quickly through the calendar, talk about opening nights that are coming up. January 30th, Kashmir High School is opening up Once Upon a Mattress. I'm kind of excited to see that one. And they start early, and they do this, and their drama program's done for the year to allow the kids to do spring sports.
Yeah, it's smart, but it does put you in the weird place where they're rehearsing across Christmas break.
Yeah.
So, it's tough for the kids.
Then we have Follies starting on February 5th, going the 6th and 7th. We have Afraida High School is doing Grease, and that will open on the 12th. ICCA has Miss Holmes and Miss Watson, Apartment 2B. And what's the name of that theater company?
Rogue Assembly.
Rogue Assembly Theater is going to be doing Miss Holmes and Miss Watson, Apartment 2B, up at the ICCA, opening on the 13th. On the 27th, we've got shows opening. Chelan High School's The Mysterious Murder at Manchester Manor, and Quincy High School is opening up Footloose. And I've been seeing a lot coming from Quincy. And also on February 27th, we have Wahluke High School. They're doing The Myths at the Edge of the World. That's their theater program at Wahluke High School in Mattawa. That one, if you're not familiar with it, it's a story of 4 different myths of different Native peoples that they're doing. Should be a really interesting show with the kids down in Mattawa. And that is the 3rd opening show on February 27th. It is just packed as we get towards the end of the month in February. And going into March, we have Eastmont High School is doing Little Women in March.
They did Little Women not that long ago. I remember seeing it. It was pre-COVID, and Tia Ning LaFleur was the girl who died.
Beth.
The Beth. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of March sisters.
There's not that many.
4? Joe, so she's the main one. Then Beth is the one who dies.
And Meg.
Is Meg the bratty one?
No, Amy.
Amy's the bratty one. Okay, Then Meg is the one that gets married.
Yes, Meg has the kids.
Okay, no. There's 4.
There's 4. There's not that many.
Okay.
No, we've got poor doomed Beth where, as soon as Beth comes out, you're like, oh, Beth. Yeah.
I can do it, Mother.
I don't have when Wenatchee High School is doing The Importance of Being Earnest, but I know that's got to be coming up sometime soon, probably March.
I was just talking about the fact that Importance of Being Earnest is such like a regional community theater staple, and it has not been done here in forever. No. So I'm glad Paul is picking up the gauntlet. Like we talked about earlier, that's a good one because it's royalty free, and it's a relatively small cast, and it's well known.
Yes.
It's got a lot going for it. It does have accents, though, which can be dangerous.
It can be. We'll see what Paul and Kelly can do with the accents on Importance of Being Earnest.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. So those are the shows that we've got coming up this next week. If you're available, go to opening night for the Minutes at the Riverside Playhouse. I know the club's going to be there, and I will be there, but I won't be in the audience.
Mayor Superba.
I will be on stage running the show.
We should all get bouquets of flowers to throw at you. Like 18 bouquets coming at you.
Yeah, I will not be able to catch them at the end of the show.
Have your arms been chopped off in the show?
You'll have to find out.
Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. What's going to happen to Kevin's arms?
So exciting.
Wow.
So this has been a long episode. We've got a lot to talk about. Great having this conversation with Skyler back. It's always great, Skyler. If you can go to opening night for the Minutes, if you can't make it to opening night, make sure you see theater, support your local theater and performing arts. And if you can, make sure you go to another opening night.